Hello, everyone. I am back. I had to redo this video because as I was listening to it, I didn't like it. So I wanted to come on and do it again. And I know it's late and no one is here. As you come into the room or as you come in on the replay, as you know, I love it when people like, subscribe, and click the notifications bell. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play that song. Okay. Hello, everyone. Come on in the room if you are here. And please feel free to comment on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for those who watch it. I have to start off by saying I have some major trolls. And I'm talking people who really are not interested in my channel, but they are literally here to just cause issues. And one of those issues I discovered just today, and it happened like over a month ago. And so I had to report it to the Department of Justice because someone is on another channel with my photo and saying that my name is something that it isn't. And I'm not going to say the name that they're saying it is. And then they have something up there. Um, I don't know what it is. I forgot what else it was they had up there. At any rate, I've handled that. If you see anything about me out there that is not on this channel, I am going to tell you to flag it. Flag it, because this is my channel and no one should be putting up photos about me. I don't deal with people on those levels. I come over here, I talk about what it is I'm going to talk about, and I keep it moving. So, this is The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's called A Tale of Two Accidents. It is season 11, episode 17. And it starts out with Dorit sends someone named Rhino around to give out invitations to invite the ladies to her house fashion event where she's going to showcase the wedding dresses that she's designed. And we will see in the end just how gorgeous those dresses are. I couldn't help but notice that Rhino, the gentleman passing out the invitations, is black. I couldn't help but notice that, right? But just because of the words and the information that is out here about Dorit, uh, when she had that little tiff with Garcelle at Crystal's house. I digress. So Dorit's friend Rhino gives out the invitation first to Kyle, then it goes to Lisa Rinna, then to Crystal, then it goes to Garcelle. And Garcelle is like, I almost had to pinch myself because she can't believe that Dorit sent her an invitation because her and Dorit are having a bit of they're discombobulated in their relationship. The next it goes to Erika, and then it goes to Sutton. Sutton's excited to get it. Next, we are at Kathy's house where Kathy is having a spa day. Kathy has invited four of the women, one being her sister. She invited Kyle, Lisa Rinna, and Erika. It shocked me that she did not invite Crystal because remember, a couple of episodes back, Crystal gave a function wherein she invited Kathy, Garcelle, and Erika. And it was a small dinner at her home. So Kathy did not return the favor. I think people make too much out of women who have money because Kathy is giving me not a whole lot. I know people like her because she's a Hilton and everything, but she's giving me, I don't know. I'm not too I'm not too keen on her. I think I don't know, maybe she's just because she's getting older and she's different in some areas. Uh, it just appears that there's something else going on there. Anyway, the spa day, she also did not invite Garcelle. And recall, she did not even show up at Garcelle's Haitian dinner, and she also didn't even contact Garcelle to say she wouldn't be showing up. So I'm beginning to feel some kind of negative way about Kathy. I'm beginning to even think she might have a low tolerance for certain types of Black people. I'm just saying, or maybe certain types of people overall. The spa day, the person who is going to be, I forgot what they call them. I'll call it a spaologist. The person who is, the masseuse, okay? The masseuse. She tells them that this technique is called gentenical technology. This technique where they put the golden slabs of this wax looking product on the face and the chest, the neck, and the hands. And that looks it looked really relaxing. I need to go have a spa day. I haven't had one in a while because of COVID, but I love having spa days. Kyle, they're going to, Kathy tells them that there are only two beds, so they're going to have them complete their massages and spas in twos. So the first people will be Kathy and Lisa Rinna. So Kyle and Erika go and they wait on their turn. While they're waiting, Kyle asks Erika about Sutton, and Erika immediately says the door is closed. So she doesn't want to have that in her life. I don't know why she's so upset with Sutton. I really do not get why she's upset with Sutton. The ladies work with you. They have a right to know in that type of environment who they are working with. It's not like you work way over the aisle somewhere and you're behind a desk and you all never see each other. You guys are always together on these shows and you develop relationships because of this type of reality show. So I really don't know why she's upset with Sutton, asking her questions about her situation. I also don't like how Sutton backpedals on a lot. She needs to stick to her guns and be stronger, and not be so afraid of Erika. Afterwards, Erika goes into this elaborate story about Tom. She says that Tom was at home, he was robbed, confronted with a burglar, had eye surgery, and because she couldn't make it, she called her son. Her son went down, but on the way back, he ran into some snow and his car rolled down a hill 5 times. They show 3 months earlier when they were in La Quinta and Erika shares another story. I want to know, how did her son get to the hospital? How did she know the car rolled down the hill? In Kyle's confessional, Kyle shows that she's beginning to really doubt Erika, and I think this is what Erika doesn't see at this time because it is being filmed. But we now know that the ladies have filmed their reunion, and at the reunion, she had some words for Kyle, and I think that this is one of the reasons she may have had some words for Kyle. I also heard that she had a little bit of a breakdown. I'm not sure. I haven't done my own research on that. I'll do that and bring that to you for a Saturday morning live coffee with Breezy. We now go to Garcelle's house, and you guys, they show Garcelle crying, and I really believe tears are a good thing because they help you to release some of that negative energy and kind of help you to deal with whatever sadness is going on. I believe that Garcelle is in deep pain from somewhere because she keeps saying that the ladies have excluded her, and we'll see in one of the scenes where she says that she's never been able to fit in. And when these issues come up and you are at this level where Garcelle is in her life as a woman, and I'm not talking Hollywood, I'm just talking as a person, this means you have some underlying issues. You need to speak to someone about them, whether you get a therapist, a life coach, psychiatrist. I don't like psychiatrists. I just deal with a therapist and a life coach. Psychiatrists, whatever happens, they are doctors, right? They're going to put you on the meds. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't like anything else controlling my mind but me, other than a little bit of wine, of course. So Garcelle is at her home, and the matchmaker is there. And we see the matchmaker has found this gentleman named Keith, and Keith is a kickboxer. He's 49. In Garcelle's confessional, she tells us about all these things about what she's looking for in a man. One of the things that stands out to me is when she says she wants a man who is confident enough to let me be me. And I like that. That's important. And especially, I think that's important for women who are in Hollywood and who are in acting. It's important for them to be able to be themselves and to be secure because they're going to be gone a lot, depending on whether or not they get, a role. I also noticed that Garcelle likes the W men. She likes white men. Her husband was a white man, and she is now with going to be the matchmaker is setting her up with a white man. So I don't know if that was her choice because I know with matchmakers, I think that the person who seeks out the matchmaker tells the matchmaker what they're looking for, and the matchmaker can sometimes use just those characteristics, and this gentleman will pop up. And then sometimes they will use characteristics, but they add in color depending on whether or not that's important to you. It's important to me. I have to date black. Sorry, people. I dated a white guy in college. I dated a white guy even when I lived in Rhode Island for a while, but um, I, I was just experimenting. I have to have a black man. um, So we move on next to Crystal's house. And I'm going to pause and say this isn't going to take long. Okay. I'm just redoing the video. I got rid of the other one and I'm redoing it. The Lord put it in my spirit that I needed to redo the video. So I'm doing it. So Kyle visits Crystal and they go to the cellar or the basement, depending on what part of the country here in the US that you live in. And it's a little cluttered, has a lot of stuff there. Crystal tells Kyle how she plans to reconstruct it. They've hired some people to come in and to set up a bar, a movie theater, a golf simulator, a kitchen, and it's all going to cost $1 million. I learned something that I always knew about money. Money is a resource. It is a resource. Money really doesn't have any value to it unless you it's the item that you're buying that has the value, or value really is not associated with money. It's really not. These items cost this amount of money because of where Crystal lives, who she's married to. I'm sure the people who are going to come in and reconstruct the basement know that she has money. So that's why they're charging that. But it doesn't mean that it's worth that. I would not have that type of job done for $1,000,000. It would have to be under 250. Even if I had 250 to have it done, right? It would have to be under 250. Kyle and Crystal continue the conversation that they ended on at Garcelle's house, which is Erika and Sutton not speaking and how it makes Kyle feel. So she expounds on it here with Crystal and says to Crystal that it's just weird to her when you have two people at a table and they're not talking. And then they do a flashback to Garcelle's house, wherein Kyle is having the same conversation with Crystal, and she says that it's important for those types of issues to be discussed immediately so that they are not prolonged. And then Garcelle goes in and tells Kyle that that statement she had made triggered her. And it triggered her because last year, Kyle waited a whole 6 months up until the reunion to tell Garcelle that she never paid the $5,000 that she pledged to pay at Kyle's charity for the children's hospital. And Kyle really should that was she should not have waited. She could have called Garcelle before then. I really believe she might have done that intentionally to create drama because Kyle is the queen and she knows exactly how this all works. She knows that if she makes this move, this is going to be a little bit of drama and it's going to bring in the views because Kyle is working for Bravo. Her job is to bring in viewers. So a lot of the moves you see her make, that's what's happening. And let me just say, I love Kyle. I am team Kyle. Now, the first season I was not because you guys, I really like her because she has grown so much. I love growth. And I especially love growth whenever it just shines through a person. And I feel like that is what I'm seeing of Kyle because the first season, Kyle did not like Camille, and she and her sister both bullied Camille. I was like watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that season, and I was so upset with Kyle. I really was. I was like, you should not be doing this woman like that. And then during that season, we learned that she was going through some things with her husband, Kelsey, which eventually they ended up divorcing. So that made me even madder at Kyle because I was like, that was so insensitive of you to do that. But when we fast forward over the years and how her and Camille are now friends, that's so amazing to me. And I love it. I there's something very special about growth and mending relationships, you guys. I digress because I can go off on a tangent. You all know I can go off on. If you come over here often enough, you've seen me go off on tangents because I've had people get down in my comments and say, "You need to just get to the point and stop talking about yourself and all your thoughts." I digress. Kyle tells her it's weird, and Crystal goes on to say to Kyle that she doesn't really see the exclusion that Garcelle keeps saying that the women are doing against her. And Kyle says, I don't see it either. And they don't see it. Do I believe the women, especially the white women on the show, have not been around a lot of black people? Absolutely. They haven't. They have that's probably why Bravo chose Garcelle because Garcelle is at least a lighter skinned black person. They want them to, I guess, kind of gradually get into it. Uh, these Beverly Hills women are they may be very interested in some of the stars that they see, or even, like people like Denzel's wife, Rihanna, people like that. They may be interested in that, but even at that point, they're not very close friends with those women. So I think Garcelle is a good choice in some ways, and then in other ways, I think Bravo could have done better. I don't see the exclusion either, Garcelle. I think that what Garcelle is feeling has really nothing to do with the ladies, and I know there are a lot of YouTubers who are going to disagree with me on that. Now we're back at Kyle's house, and she's preparing dinner because they have a double date set up with Kyle and Mauricio and Dorit and PK. Dorit and PK arrive at the house. Mauricio and PK are very glad to see each other. They hug it out as men on these housewives shows. And I have to say, I absolutely adore the relationship that the men have as gentlemen on these shows. These are gentlemen. And I really like the Beverly Hills housewives. I know Mauricio is the longest standing husband here, and I know he would like to develop some camaraderie with other husbands on the show. So I love it whenever they bring all of that together. And Kyle is good about that. She's good about making sure that at least at a couple of events that Mauricio is present and is able to bond with the other husbands on the show. Kyle is good at that. She's in the kitchen. After Kyle and PK hug it out and they go on their way and, do what the gentlemen do, having their conversations or cigars or whatever they're doing. Not cigars. I didn't see any cigars. And then Dorit and Kyle are in the kitchen because Kyle is finishing up the last touches on the mill. And she tells Dorit about Erika. And she starts to tell her and she says, someone broke into Tom's house. Dorit's immediate response is, "What?" It's just her response. She's like, "What is going on?" These ladies are like, "Whoa, we gotta," you can tell they have got to be, their anxiety has to be up as they're hearing all of this information as they are filming. Next, Kyle says, "Oh no, it gets crazier." Her son went out to see about him, and then on the way back, it snowed and his car rolled down the hill 5 times, or Kyle may have said 6. I think Erika said 5 and Kyle said 6 times. Dorit's response again is, "What?" So they go into dinner. They're sitting at the table, beautiful little scene there. At dinner, Dorit starts to tell PK, and of course, everyone at the table hears that she tells him what Kyle just told her. Mauricio is, of course, is sitting there. He hears it. So guess what Mauricio's response is? It's the same as Dorit's. He goes, "What?" I just thought that was funny, you guys. I just thought that was so funny. Then they tell Mauricio also about the La Quinta story. They were in La Quinta out in the desert where Mauricio and Kyle have a home. And Erica had also told them about PK, not PK, about Tom having an accident and injuring his ankle, his brain, and a few other things. And Mauricio had not yet heard that story, which surprised me. It surprised me that Kyle had not shared that with him. I don't know why, but it did. I just thought she would have told him that. So Mauricio goes, "So your husband's been hurt. His car's rolled over. He's unconscious and he needs a brain surgery. Who says no to that?" See, Mauricio is like, make it make sense. And Mauricio is a realtor. He owns a real estate company in California, which does very well. And in real estate, and I know this because I've taken real estate here in North Carolina, people who take real estate, you have to have logical sense. So Mauricio is sitting there making logical sense of all of these things. The thing that gets to me though is Dorit actually has the audacity to say she believes Erika. I'm going to read, I love your fashion. You're beautiful. I love your gorgeous brown eyes. I like your, your, what do they call it? Your whatever it's called. I like your ability to just be able to openly discuss what you need to get discussed, and no one's going to get in the way of that. I love that. And you sit here and you say you believe Erika. So I think very analytically. That's why sometimes it may sound like I'm double talking when I do these commentaries. So you heard what I just said about Dorit. The other side of me says that I believe Dorit is doing this because the cameras are there. She knows they're filming. And so when she says that she believes Erika, she knows eventually this is going to be aired, and she's concerned about how that's going to come across to Erika. That's what I think is going on here. There's no way she believes her. There's no way. I have seen Dorit. I paid very close attention to her. I watched her kill her relationship with Lisa Vanderpump. So Dorit is a woman with some sputza. What do they call it? I can't think of the word. With some umph. And it's not always bad umph. It's just that she's not going to allow you to run over her, and she makes decisions and keeps it moving. She really does. And um, I I'd love to have that in me. But they start to laugh about whether the wife should choose the brain or the ankle if the doctor gives them a choice in surgery. The man he goes in, he's unconscious, he's unconscious, he needs a brain surgery, but his ankle is also hurt, and you choose the ankle. So TK really had a field day with that. I am enjoying TK this season. He is really making so much more sense to me, and he's hilarious. And I like it. I want them to show him more. I want them to show the men on Beverly Hills more. So they laugh it out. Next, we are at Crystal's. Crystal is getting ready for the Dorit Nectaria event, and she's on the phone with Kyle. And for some reason, she asks Kyle if Kyle wants to fast with her. I don't know if she's going to fast because she's going to be eating that little bit of food that Dorit's going to have for them. That's not enough to fast over. I mean, at least have breakfast, eat a yogurt even. And Kyle says no, because these days it's nothing much more to do than eat. So I kind of like that little bit of dialogue. Lisa Rinna is next, and they show Lisa getting her hair fixed, and she has this olive outfit that she's going to wear to the event. And they show Lisa Rinna in her confessional. And in the confessional that they show her, she just reminds me of Halloween. All that orange eyeshadow, her skin is orange, and she's wearing an outfit that has a lot of orange and black. Is does that mean that she is part of some kind of exclusive negative thing in Hollywood? I just thought of that. Hmm. I don't really like Lisa Rinna because of the way she's treating Garcelle this season. I don't like her. I think that she is demonstrating that she is very annoyed with Garcelle. She does not like Garcelle. And Garcelle keeps crying, saying, "Oh, and Rinna, who's supposed to be my friend," because Rinna is responsible for having Garcelle on the show. So Rinna, who's supposed to be my friend, is not even taking up for me. She's crying over Rinna. No, she's not taking up for you, Garcelle, because she doesn't like you. She is highly annoyed with you. And if I were you, I wouldn't eat the sauce that she and Harry brought over to your house. So next we're at Dorit's house. This is the end, you guys. And PK, Dorit asks PK, what time is it? PK says it's 5 after 6. And Dorit is like, they'll all be here in a minute. They show Erika in her car. She's on the phone with either Kyle or Lisa Rinna, and she's talking about being on the way to the event and some other things. Then they show Sutton with her man. I've never seen Sutton's man. They show her with her man in their car, and she tells him she's kind of nervous, and she's nervous because Erika's going to be there. Sutton, I would like for you not to be nervous about Erika being there. I know a lot of people have given a lot of credit to Sutton for really exposing Erika, and I highly commend that as well. At the same time, Sutton did not show enough backbone to me. She backed out of a lot of things, and I wanted her to hold Erika to the fire and even hold the other women to the fire in front of Erika because Erika needed to feel that. Um, so Crystal and her man Rob walk in, and Rob Minkoff is the director of The Lion King as well as other phenomenal movies in Hollywood. So for him to be at this event is a big deal. He is the one that Hollywood A-listers like to rub shoulders with. And I say this because you need to know that that is the only reason that Harry Hamlin showed up at this event this evening, because he never goes anywhere with Lisa. Harry Hamlin never goes anywhere on these shows with Lisa. I might have seen him with her one time. They showed him earlier in the season, but he was at her house, cooking, and she probably had to beg him to come over to do that. At any rate, he's there because Rob is there and he wants to rub shoulders with Rob, the director of The Lion King, and I forgot what other movies, but he's well connected. Mauricio and Kyle walk in and they have on black. They look very elegant. Sutton and her man walk in, and of course, as Sutton is walking in, Erika is already there and she's over there at the table. People have already admired her hair. I didn't want to say anything about her hair. I kind of feel two ways about Erika, and I'm going to analyze it at the end of this. Erika's rolling her eyes and shaking her head as Sutton walks in with her man. Garcelle then walks in her mustard outfit. I I liked the color on her. I did not like the mustard fur. She could have left that off so that we could see the other part, see what else she was wearing. And if you notice, Lisa walks in, but Harry did not arrive with Lisa. The dresses are beautiful. They're all talking, they're, communicating, having kind of like a little cocktail hour before they sit down and eat. Kyle and PK are having a great banter back and forth, and PK is asking, "Do you think I should tell the joke about the brain or the ankle?" And Kyle just burst out laughing. They're talking about um, Tom, of course, and Erica's there, so he's not going to do that because that would cause something at that table. It would cause a whole lot of mess and drama. The dresses are absolutely gorgeous that Dorit and Nectaria designed. I couldn't help but notice there was also one black girl who was a model. So Dorit is letting us know you cannot call me racist. I had a black man named Rhino deliver the invitations, and now I have a black model in the fashion show showing off one of my most gorgeous designs. So she's just letting us know, based on that conversation they had earlier this season at the table when they were talking about race. And, Kathy had said that she knows Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson said he didn't see color. Well, so Phoenix is Dorit's daughter, and she is in the show. She's so adorable. She is so Dorit's kids are beautiful. They are so adorable. I love them so much. So we get to the fashion show. Jessica is one of the models. We have the model Angel, who is wearing multiple layers of soft sheer tools. That's how Dorit described it, you guys. Then we have our black model, Ariel. Her dress is called the standout dress. Then we have the model who is wearing the pearl. And I love this dress. This is a $35,000 dress. If those pearls are real, it's worth it. Then we have Vita, who is wearing the princess, another beautiful wedding dress. And Dorit is wearing the dress called the woman. The dresses were absolutely gorgeous. Now we're at the table. They're serving the fritters. Oh, I forgot to mention, you guys, my favorite part was right before I described the dresses, I meant to talk about how they opened up everything because it was outside and it was as if the women were in a window. They dropped the curtains and they were all there, and that was just a beautiful scene. So I wanted to make sure and tell you that. Now, fast forward. They're all eating. They're being served zucchini fritters. And that's why I said, remember earlier when Crystal asked Kyle if she wanted to fast with her? I was thinking, I know that she's not fasting waiting on the fritters because this is all that we see that they're being served. They may have been served some other things. And this may be enough because of the event. The event is really not for eating, it's to enjoy the event and to socialize and things like that. At the table, as Dorit has changed clothes, she's changed out of the woman into something else that is also beautiful. Kyle tells her she arrives at the table to be seated with the rest of the guests. She says, Dorit, not only did you do such an incredible job, but these dresses are absolutely beautiful. And then afterwards, Harry arrives. And we learn as Harry is seated that Harry is about to be in a movie and he's going to play the role of Tom Brokaw. Then they show Lisa in her Halloweenish confessional saying how Harry does everything for her. And she kind of laughs it off, saying that's probably why he's ready to go and get rid of her. So this is the last part. They showed the gentleman. The gentlemen are outside and they're having their socialization and they're chatting and they're daring Harry to go in there and deal with the women. Lisa Rinna and Erika Jane are seated at a table away from the other girls who are standing up around a small cocktail table. And Lisa and Erika Lisa's telling Erika, you think we should go over there? And Erika's no, 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 we're not going over there. No, no. She doesn't want to go over there because Sutton is over there. That's just what I guess. So back over at the table, Lisa Rinna, not Lisa Rinna, Kyle looks at Garcelle and she says, you had everybody up in arms today. So this lets you know the ladies have all been talking about Garcelle. This right here, because they're all waiting for Kyle to bring this up. You had everybody up in arms today. And Garcelle kind of backs up and looks at her like, what are you talking about? And Kyle reiterates it and she says, you made a little comment. You said, we're all coming after you. And then the cameras flash to when Garcelle had an interview earlier that day wherein she someone asked her a question, the interviewer asked her a question, and she said, "Well, they're all coming after me." And then Dorit says, "Why are you out there saying we're all coming after you?" And Garcelle, she holds her ground to that. She says, "Listen, no, because you are." Garcelle, then Dorit goes on and says, she reminds Garcelle of how Garcelle came for her, right? Garcelle should have stood her ground and said, "I called you out. I, you know, no, actually, what she said was, I called you out. I didn't come after you," or something like that. But she should have held her ground and said, "Listen, I didn't come for you. What I did was I exposed you because you were being two faced. You were saying things at your house about Erica, but then whenever we all got together, you didn't you didn't stick to those guns, right?" But then maybe in this scene she could not have said that because in the last at the end of the dinner at Kathy's, we find that Dorit did stick to her guns at the end. I digress. So after Garcelle says, "I called you out, I didn't come after you," Dorit says, "I speak four languages, and that doesn't make sense in any one of them." And then the camera showed Dorit speaking her four languages. It also shows Lisa, Rinna, and Erika back over at the table. And Garcelle begins to sob and says nobody ever takes her side. And then they show her in a confessional saying, "Look at Rinna. Rinna's not taking my side." Rinna doesn't like you, Garcelle. She is so annoyed, and I hope you have not used that sauce. If you have not used that sauce, you need to pour that stuff out, get rid of it. Lisa, in her Halloween confessional, says, "Garcelle got called out for being jabby and shady. And when you get called out for being jabby and shady, I'm not going to help you out." That's pretty much what Lisa Rinna said. Garcelle needs to give it up. The thing is, Lisa is, I think she's the one who introduced Garcelle to the show, though, just like she introduced Denise to the show. And I, I guess she just brought them on to show what she really felt about them, because she does not like Garcelle. She doesn't like her at all. The women tell Garcelle to just say to Dorit what's on her mind. And Garcelle says, "I would love it if you did that." Because Garcelle is open and pretty direct, so she feels like you're her friend when she can have an open dialogue with you. And so Garcelle tells Dorit to shut up, and Dorit lets her know how she loved it. And I just thought that was just a wasted scene. I was like, you know, be real, for real, Garcelle. Tell Dorit that you thought she was being two-faced, because she was. She doesn't always she sticks to her guns, but for some reason she's not doing that with Erica, and I don't get that. That's the end of the show. Next week, they're going to show the ladies on a trip, and there are some seals involved, and who knows what those seals are doing. And then they're going to show the ladies at a table wherein Erica tells this same story that she told in this episode. She tells it to the ladies then, but then as she's telling it, she says allegedly. And that's when Kyle is like, "That's not what you said when you first told the story. What do you mean allegedly? It either happened or it didn't. You said your son rolled his car rolled down a hill after being in some snow. That's what you said happened. How are you saying that's alleged?" It, oh oh, goodness, it's just crazy. I want to say something that I said in my last video, though. I don't want to forget to say it because you remember I told you I'm really kind of analytical. I wish I had someone on here to like come over and say something and have this dialogue with me. But I get nothing but trolls over here. These are not real people, some of them. At any rate, I digress. Um, I think that Erica may be under more duress than we realize. And maybe that's why she behaved towards Sutton the way she did. I also think over the past few years that this may have been something that was ongoing and that they may have saw coming, and she has had to bear the brunt of, the stress. I don't think it's all about the money. I think the money is a big part of it because she wants that status, but I think that there are some mafia ties involved because Tom was putting money in politicians' pockets, and I just believe wherever the US government is concerned, sometimes there's the mafia. I really believe that. He also has a lot of connections with a lot of other attorneys in um, California. And he knows the chief of police, LAPD. Um, I think that at one point, Erica said something on this show about the mafia. So that may also be why Sutton was a little fearful. I just think there's a lot more going on than what people are saying. And I'm one of these people, when I hear people making the same comments about the same person, I try to look the other way because I've had that happen to me in my life a lot. People will say the same thing over and over about me, and it's not even true. There's something else going on. And they don't even know because I don't talk to them. But because they are prejudgmental in the way that they think they know. And this is what I think might be happening with Erica. So I want to stand back and kind of look at it from the perspective of she may be in real trouble. And I'm thinking the reason she's telling these stories this season is because she has to. And I even think the reason she has not apologized is because she can't. I think that there is someone who has their foot in her mouth. And if she opens it and says or does the wrong thing, anything can happen. She may even be trying to save her life. Now, I could be wrong, but this is just my, uh, what do I want to, hypothetically speaking, right? Um, and that's all, people. I just want to say, I know it's late. It's 12:34 a.m. Many blessings to you. Get a good night rest. Tomorrow is Friday. It's the weekend, and I'm glad and I'm out of here. If you come on in the replay, remember to like, subscribe, click the notifications bell. I'll see you Saturday morning.